Şimdi
We'd like to thank you, first of all, on behalf of our community, because you have brought your work here and we are delighted about that. Can you tell a little bit about how you started photography and how you take your photographs, how the photographs of the exhibition came about?
Well, historically, my father was a very keen photographer. So I've been around cameras all my life, basically. But there was a big gap through my, say, 20s, when I was between 20 and 30 maybe, where I didn't have a camera. And then I had a camera again. So it's been a part of my life almost all my life.
20 ile 30'lu yaşlardaki...
If it isn't too private, could you tell us why you didn't have it between 20 and 30?
I was too interested in women.
Your photography journey has really started seriously after 30-year-old, and how did it progress?
I think it started really again when I went to college quite late in life, and I did an archaeology training course there. And part of that archaeology training course was to learn how to do photography professionally, so you could record the archaeology. And we had to work in the darkroom to produce our own photographs and so on. So that really reignited my passion for photography.
Peki bu zaman içerisinde gelişen...
This passage from darkroom to lightroom, how did it affect you? Was it positive or negative, or?
Bu onları olumlu mu etkiledi yoksa olumsuz mu?
It was almost entirely positive. Because I was very unsure about changing to digital, and actually it was my father. My father was much more sort of innovative than me, and he, as soon as Photoshop and digital photography came into being, he started with it. And on one visit home, my father said, "Just try this digital camera." So I did, and 3 days later he sent me 20 images, like sort of this size, and I was converted.
What is your preferred style? What sort of photographs do you like to take?
I'm not sure about a style particularly, but I think my approach is a contemplative approach. So that's very much about having a quiet mind and really being in the moment when I take a photograph, and for me that makes it a much more kind of experimental or exploratory sort of approach. It's much more satisfying for me because I'm much more relaxed, and also I think I really connect with what I'm taking a photograph of much more profoundly. And then I think that can be seen in the end photograph.
Peki farklı bir şey sormak isterim. Şimdi kendisi...
We know that you have associations with Royal Photographic Society, and he's curious to know what brings to the life of the photographer to be associated with such societies and groups.
I think there's a number of different things that it brings to my life. One is that it's a part of a community of photographers. So there's an exchange of ideas, there's an exchange of different styles of photography that I can learn from and progress my own photography. But I think one of the main reasons that I became a member of the Royal Photographic Society was to do the distinctions. They have like where you present a panel of photographs, and if they're good enough then you get an award. And I did that really to have a project for myself so that I could really push my own photography and make and progress my own photography.
artık günümüzde dünyada gelişen bir algılar var. Proje fotoğrafçılığı dediğimiz bir fotoğraf dalı
In
var.
Turkey there is this new trend. Photographers work around a theme.
Ülkemizde bu çok, yani Türkiye'de şu anda
And they take photographs for this theme, and it seems to be quite successful and purposeful. And I wonder if it's the same trend in England, and if so or not, if there are projects that you have done, could you tell us a little bit about that as well?
nedir veya onlardaki proje algısı nedir? Kendisinin yapmış olduğu projeler var mıdır?
I personally, I don't work to themes particularly, but I do really enjoy certain types of photography. So there are times when I do a lot of wildlife photography, particularly sort of close-ups of insects and butterflies and so on, dragonflies. And I really very much enjoy the macro photography, so getting very much up close. And the photographs I have in the exhibition here are all done very close up. And I enjoy that aspect because I feel as if I'm going into a different world. Not that I want to be in a different world particularly, but it brings a new world to me, if you like.
We hope to see you in November here as well. And can you tell us a little bit about how you came to Turkey for this exhibition? How this exhibition has come about? And is it the first time in Turkey, and how?
It is my first time in Turkey, and so I've been here 3 days now. And the exhibition, my part in the exhibition came about because Stephen invited me. So I'd been away from home, and I came back to this a long letter, which is quite unusual because it's normally email. And I opened this letter and I saw that it was a Turkish address, and then it said, "Hello, dear Colin," and then there was a passage from Chaucer, the medieval poet.
Yeah.
And then Stephen invited me to come here. There's one particular project that I'm involved in when I get back home is there's a county-wide, like a provincial sort of wide exhibition where people open their homes and their studios to the public. So it's all very small scale, but there are maybe 300 studios dotted around the county. And there's a very professional sort of brochure that's produced, and people pick up the brochure there for free in banks and hospitals and post offices and so on. And then they can plan to go and see whoever they want to see. And it is an amazing project because it really brings art very much onto a local sort of scale.
Tabii biz kendisini
So we were talking with Michael about this. We would like to have your view, your eye, looking into our culture, as well as taking this culture, your view of this culture to England, and bringing the English cultural views, perceptions, art, understandings of art to here. So this exchange is going to be very fertile, and we hope to continue.
One of the things I was talking about with you at lunchtime was maybe having a twinning link between maybe Dorchester and Marmaris, so that camera clubs can do an exchange and clubs can do an exchange.
Sergide bu güzel eserleri bizlerle buluşturdular.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we would like to let you say few last words about this project, this being here, and your experience of life here. And
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to say, thank you for allowing us to be here. I've only been here 3 days, but I've been met only by generosity, warmth, kindness, and so on. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I'd love to come back. And I really hope we can sort of create some kind of exchange. And so it is a real exchange.